Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk to you about a little touchy topic, and the topic is becoming the guardian to your parents' finances. Many questions. Should you do it? Who should do it? Who is competent to do it? Which sibling of yours should be handling it? When do you step in and say, I will manage it for you? Right? Just too many questions. Now, largely money managing is seen as a man's activity, and cooking as a woman's activity. A lot of couples look after their own money well into their 70s and 80s, right? So it's not so much of an issue. So when does one step in and say, look, you are not capable of doing it, let me act as your guardian? That's a difficult question to answer, because some men and women never ever give up their money handling. For example, my father gave up money handling maybe in his 70s. He really couldn't care as long as I made sure that he had enough money in his bank account, and he had a very good portfolio. So it didn't require too much effort from his side, but he wouldn't even bother. Last 5-7 years, he had no clue how much he had, what dividends he was getting, but I mean, it was a happy ending. And my mother never ever took interest in what money was being, she would just sign. Said, sign here, she would sign that, that's fine. But I know of cases where I am seeing trouble. When a person is 93 years of age and her son is 73 and his daughter is 66, son and daughter both have absolutely no competence at all in money managing. The son has invested a lot of his own money in real estate. Believe me, he has much more than what he needs, but he has the most complicated portfolio. And the mother's portfolio is largely into bank fixed deposits, luckily, and she has a pension which is greater than her expenses. This is again a happy ending. There is nothing dangerous happening. Yes, very inefficiently managed money, but there is no question of money being finished. Take another case where there is a woman who is about 82, 83, 3 children, 2 children abroad, one in US, one in New Zealand or Australia, and daughter staying in Mumbai. So mother staying in a senior citizen facility in Pune. The eldest daughter is handling the money, and she's perfectly incapable of handling her own money, and there is no way how she can handle her mother's money, and she's made quite a mess of it. And in fact, she wanted some nominations changed, which to me is an alarm bell, but to her brothers is not an alarm bell. So here there are 2-3 things to worry about. One is the competence of the son or daughter who is handling it, and second, the financial need of the kid who is handling it, and the feeling of entitlement by the person who is managing the person, saying, look, my brothers are abroad, they are not interested, so since I am managing, I should get all the money. Very, very conflicting things, right? So let us see, when should you step in? Let us say you have, let's say it's a couple who are 85 years of age. The husband who's managing the money now has dementia. Huge signal for you to say, this man cannot manage money. And if the wife has never been able to stand up to that man, then it is even more important that somebody else steps in. It has got nothing to do with age, it has got more to do with competence. Second, when you think that they have enough money and they can simplify the portfolio, don't be in equity, don't be in debt funds, get into simple things like bank fixed deposits, because the most important thing is that money has to last them during their lifetime, right? That's all. Third, I think if geographically the siblings are in different locations, they're much better off appointing an IFA or a chartered accountant or a lawyer to do the small time execution, and one of the siblings takes charge. There is a problem here, that if that sibling is not doing well financially, will that will that kid try to touch this money? Will he try changing the nominations? Will he try withdrawing and things like that? That is so. I would prefer that it be run by an outsider and not by a sibling. But the question is, how much do you trust the outsider? Because I don't think any strong agreements and all can protect in India. The laws are very weak. So if a CFA or a CA or a lawyer cheats your parents, you are going to be in trouble, right? So my suggestion would be, at some stage you need to ask yourself all these questions which are necessary as a kid or as a trusted advisor, anyway both you perform similar roles. What are the signals that you will pick up to say, I think this person needs care, and I will step in, or my brother will step in, something like that? Then how much are you worried about dementia, Alzheimer's and things like that? Because with Alzheimer's, that person may not be able to sign, and if for whatever reasons that person is unable to sign, then you have to take a thumb impression, go to the bank. Those kind of activities have to be done. If all that has to be done, you are much better off being in bank fixed deposits and endowment plans or pension plans than not in mutual funds. Mutual fund withdrawal will become very difficult. Therefore, you move to a digital space. So the person, and in the digital space, you have another problem. You will get a OTP. So which means the phone number has to be changed, the email ID has to be changed, so you have to do a fresh KYC, right? So all this is not going to be very simple. You need to understand all this. The other problem is when one of the kids who is handling the money is extremely well off, they may not realize that the one of the other siblings might need the money a little earlier. For example, I know a friend, again 3-4 brothers, one brother needs money, the other 3 do not need the money, and so the family wealth is not being sold even maybe 10 years after the parental death. There is property to be divided, and that's not being divided. And I know that the boy who needs it, the boy, say man who needs it, is about 55 years of age. He needs to pay that money for his children's school college fees. But however, the elder brother who is saying, what is the hurry? They don't seem to be in a hurry to close it because the others don't need the money. So these kind of conflicts have to be handled by the IFA. I think you're better off asking an IFA to handle this rather than trying to handle it within the family, unless there is some proven competence of one person being able to do it. If he's a professional, if he's already a CFA or a CA and the other siblings trust him, then yes. But I know of cases where the children themselves need that extra money, so they're not willing to spend on care and things like that. These are very, very conflicting things. I do not know how we are going to handle this as a son or a daughter or as an advisor. So will you use mediation to sort out family disputes? What happens if the children are conflicted about how the money should be managed, how the mother should be managed, how the father should be managed? Some children believe that care should move in quickly, but there are some others who believe that no, my mother is independent, she does not need this care. Handling all those conflicts, a lot of it is financial, but a lot of it is emotional too. So as in, when will you move in? I don't know. I find it very difficult to move in and say, look, I'm going to take charge of your finances. I know I have 80-year-old uncles who are doing it themselves, and I know 70-year-old cousins who are perfectly not capable of doing it themselves. So, but yeah, nobody steps in. The children don't step in. Even if the children are educated, qualified, they don't step in because they don't realize there is a need for such a thing. They don't realize that a 95-year-old need not wait till death for disbursing the assets, because even when you're 80, some kid may need that money for paying fees or operation, medical expenses. So it is important for you as a parent to realize that it is better to offer a lot of money during your lifetime, beyond your needs, of course. All your needs have to be met, and money that you have beyond that, your children may need it to pay for their current expenses. So knowing those things and all is not easy. So When do you step in? What do you ask? Dementia, Alzheimer's, how do you handle all those things? That is another question to ask. How important is proximity? Do you want to give away the check signing authority to somebody else? So all these questions, like the Guardianship Act, finding out how can you appoint a guardian, what happens to your uncle or aunt who does not have a kid, right? In those cases it becomes even more difficult. There is absolutely no proof that you are not conflicted. You do not know the will, what they have made for whom, right? If you don't know any of those things, do you want to handle it at all? Do you want to handle it for a fee, or do you want to do it free? Even if an IFA is appointed or a chartered accountant is appointed, does he know what are his role, what is his role in doing this, what are his duties, what are his obligations, how much should he interfere, where is the line drawn? There is not enough legal infrastructure in this country to look after senior citizens and super senior citizens, right? So how does a 70-year-old son look after the finances of the 92-year-old father and the 87-year-old bedridden mother, right? That's going to be very difficult, but these are the questions which we don't even have an answer, right? So when will the client himself or herself tell you that they require help? Extremely unlikely. I know 80-year-olds who pretend that they can understand the dynamics of the market. I know 82-year-olds who are doing F&O, and they're perfectly all right. And I know 70-year-old who has no clue. She does not understand what is a dividend plan, what is a growth plan. She has her money mixed up in a lot of real estate. She has not made a will, and she will not listen, right? So you are conflicted as an advisor or as a cousin or as a relative to give advice. But the problem is, should you be giving advice, and are you yourself capable of giving advice, and what advice do you give to such people? I've always struggled with these kind of questions. I do not know how you struggle with those kind of questions. So be careful, find your own answers, because your answers will be different from my answers. So my job is to ask you the questions, so that I have done. So please find the answers and solve these kind of issues yourself, whether you're an IFA or the son, daughter, nephew of a person who you think needs this help. Sadly, we do not even know where to turn to if we need help. Thank you.